Today I'd like to cover some of the gear I used in the 2015 West Virginia State IDPA Championship. Most notably will be the pistol, the Grand Power K100 X Trim. A lot of folks see this gun. It has almost identical machining, just a slightly shorter barrel than the Excalibur, but it is not a bull barrel. A lot of folks want to just pull this back and look. I've also gotten pretty good at taking the gun apart and sliding the barrel out. It is a standard profile barrel, and I have added a guide rod which is made out of mild steel. This is also a factory part. It does not come in the gun, however I ordered it from Eagle Imports, which is the importer for Grand Power. The gun also has a factory extended magazine release. However, since it is the factory part, it is not an extended release. It is just the release that comes on the K100 X Trim, and that in itself still meets the distance rule for IDPA, being 0.2 inches from the back of the frame where the magazine release extends. Now, I put a custom recoil spring in the gun, which is okay. It's internal action work, and I polished the hammer spring, and I put on some skate tape, which is made by Jessup, and this is actually really good skate tape. It's one of the most oldest and trusted brands. It was actually cut out by Springer Precision, and the way Scott cuts these to match the frame protrusions here on the Grand Power pistols is phenomenal. It fits perfect. This is the second or third one I've fit on a gun, and this one's been on for about 1,000 rounds. So it's a great product, and it gives you just enough texture that you need. Now, it is legal in SSP to do a little bit of stipling to the removable grip part, which would go slide on here. However, I don't like my back strap stippled. Other things that are somewhat questionable are the magazines. This is a Springer Precision base pad. It's a little bit longer, and I don't like the feel of it on a reload. However, this base pad does meet weight requirement. It has to be no more than 1 ounce heavier, and it's about 0.8 of an ounce. The other base pad, I use the shock bottle. They're a little smaller, a little lower profile, and for me, a little smoother to reload. Third base pad, of course, is the factory base pad. My biggest thing is when I go to an equipment check, I want to know the rule book better than anybody else there. And that's why in some of the equipment that I had were printed off, and you'll notice highlighted rules, pages 34 and 35 of the rule book, and also a couple other pages that were illegal modifications. And it states that a material no heavier than stainless steel can be used on the guide rod, and that grip tape, skateboard tape may be used. Aftermarket magazine base pads may be used, and states that they must be within 1 ounce, and that magazines must fit in the IDPA box, which this gun does fit in the IDPA box, fit in my box, and it fit in the box they had at the match. And this magazine does just barely fit. It's not even real close. There's probably 50, 60 thousandths. It fits loosely in the box, so there's no problems there with that. My holster is made by Bob King at Red Hill Tactical. These holsters are made specifically for competition. They're a handmade holster, and this one is the carbon fiber pattern with a tech lock. And you'll notice it's a little dirty, maybe a couple scratches. It actually holds up really well. I was kind of worried about getting a finish on the outside of the holster besides the basic Kydex, but it does really well. It passes the dowel test for me, and it has adjustable tension that I can adjust with the screws. Of course, with IDPA, you're not allowed to have the big knobbies out here, so you have to use a screwdriver to do that. It's as fast as any other holster I've used. I always feel that handmade Kydex is a cut above the other Kydex you're going to get, which is usually injection molded, which sometimes is just a plastic holster, not really a Kydex. And if I slide my guide rod back on here, slide my recoil spring back on my guide rod, excuse me, slide this to the front, Your gun goes right back together easier than it came apart. And seeing how the holster fits the gun, this allows me to get my hand on the gun completely, nothing getting in the way of holsters, and it's pretty secure. This is exactly how I shot it at the match, and it's how I carry when I open carry. And the other thing is the magazine I used. Bob was kind of busy when I originally started practicing, so what I did is I grabbed a Wilson Combat magazine pouch and threw one round in the magazine, got out my measuring tape, and measured up 2 inches, and I ended up putting you can barely faintly see it now, it's worn a good bit, a silver Sharpie mark, and watched it disappear. So that gives me at least a 1/4 inch beyond the rule book of the minimum 2 inches. And of course I shoot and train with Black Bullets International. I love the saying on the back of their shirt, and I love their product. I've shot those through just about every gun that I've had in the last 3 or 4 years with no problems. This gun gives me an accuracy of about 1.5 inches at 20 yards with those bullets. The other thing is my vest. I use a Woolrich Elite Series vest. This is just a simple IDPA vest that I've had for years. There's no stiffening. I usually don't have anything in the pockets unless there's some spent brass or a few rounds. It is made to fit me. By adjusting these vests to where you need them, where they're comfortable and where they hang, is the big secret to an IDPA vest, without spending $100+ on a custom vest. Getting your concealment so that it consistently moves with you and where it is expected to be at all times. I don't wear the vest around at the match, mainly because it is extremely hot at most of these matches. You're out on an open range, and you really do get the bake. If there's any questions I didn't cover regarding my equipment, please feel free to ask. Anybody that has any questions about the K100X trim being legal for SSP, feel free to ask. I'll expound on the rules. I think it's a great gun for that type of competition. And the folks that want to say it's a gamer's gun, yes, it really is. It's a gun made specifically to fit a division there, and this is a game we're playing, so why not give myself all advantages that I can. I'd like to thank you for looking. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Please click subscribe, and I look forward to any input.